Right, good afternoon. We're here at Safer Grow. My name's Chris Wrigley. I'm an independent agronomist from the East Riding of Yorkshire. We're here this afternoon with Andrew Lowe, who's the, give me the full title.
Sales and Marketing Director of Safer Grow.
That sounds very important to me. I better just sit up and ask the right sort of question here. Andrew, the concept, and we know it's a start-up company, but the concept that we're looking at here is innovation, is making sure that the customers listen to right the way through to the grower.
Right.
Just give us a bit of background on Safer Grow as a company, its origin, etc., etc.
Yeah, Chris, Safer Grow was launched in November 2010, so it's still a relatively new company. And the concept was essentially very simple, we have a sister company called Safer Pack that is one of the leading manufacturers of high quality products.
I've heard of them.
They focused primarily up until now into supplying multinational ag-chem companies, the likes of Syngenta and Bayer and BASF. But they have quite a considerable investment in machinery, and they have a lot of skills in-house that they want to make more use of and push more litres through the factory.
Okay.
And so one of the areas that they can make most use of this technology is into crop nutrition. Products such as, primarily, Chris, things like the suspension concentrate, which many people will have used, like the manganese 500 market. These sort of products use techniques and skills that Safer Pack are leaders in. So it was a natural fit.
Okay, so I suppose, Andrew, talking about the company, that's fine, but the company's almost always about the people involved, and you came into the company from its inception?
Yes, I did, and I joined the majority of my experience, some 20 plus years, was with two companies that people may have heard of, latterly Yara, and before that I was working with Fosen.
Who are now one anyway, I guess, are they?
Yeah,
Yara,
I mean, I didn't move companies. Yara acquired Fosen back in 2006. I've been working for Fosen up until that time for about 17 years. So Fosen, I think that most people in the UK would have probably come across in their time. I don't think it's stretching the point to say that they were one of the pioneers, one of the leaders in crop nutrition or added value crop nutrition, particular focus on the foliar products.
Okay.
So that is what I'm bringing to this company, and people should expect or should have an idea then of the sort of professionalism and approach that we're going to bring to this sector. One
thing that pricked my ears up when I sort of heard about the Safer Grow story, if you like, was you always tended to use the word innovation.
Yes.
I class myself as not in the same camp maybe, but an innovator in the way we look at the nutritional products. So that's really, I guess, where the tie-up comes, as well as working with other innovators, if you like, where we can share chemistry and share ideas. It seems to me a relatively new idea that people like the chemist here at Safer Grow and yourself have this interaction, this sort of fostering this relationship with the end user, the grower, and that to me is relatively new. So where did that concept come from? What's the origin of that?
Yeah, it came from two distinct areas. We're very fortunate to have the services of a product development chemist called Martin Edwards, who brings 30 years experience in agriculture and development of products for primarily foliar application in agriculture. That's what he brings to the party, and he very much all throughout his career has viewed the necessity in thinking about product application from the point of view of the farmer, and not, as in many cases, a chemist would produce a product and then that would be passed on to marketing, and marketing works out of a way of the best way to sell that to a grower. So from the product development, right from the start of developing new ranges within Safer Grow, we have somebody in the organisation who is thinking in those lines. From my part, from the marketing side of the company, we very much want to try and bring a bit of fresh thinking to how things are done. We, in that sense, want to make proper use of the media options that are out there. Obviously, everybody has a website these days. We'll be no different, and we intend to make that facility very much interactive, Chris. So it's not just a marketing ploy. We will actively seek feedback from the farmer and from the grower.
Okay, so this isn't just for the distribution network, it's for the grower to come on, look at technical details.
In fact, I would hope that the farmers will look at our website and immediately see a difference, Chris, because we're putting a lot of effort into speak to the farmer and not speak between the industry, which I think a lot of websites tend to do.
Okay, let me just stop you there, Andy, because we've made a big play on this farmer interaction. What have farmers been saying back to you then? What is their sort of common thrust of, or the common questions that they ask of you, or demands that they ask of you?
Yeah, where we've focused so far, Chris, is because we're putting a main emphasis on products such as alloy, as you know. So it's very much an SC focus of feedback that we're getting at the moment. So growers are telling us, and spray operators are telling us, of the sort of challenges that some products provide them, on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, they're the guys who are using our products more than anybody. And they're aware of what's useful and what's not. So at the moment, Chris, it's very much practical feedback we're getting. More about whether packs are large enough to leave sufficient space to shake and agitate the product, to properly mix it before you put it in. We're getting positive feedback on the rinsing, because we make good play of the fact that both the Visco range and the alloy range are very easily rinsed out the can, and we have received some favourable feedback on that, which is very pleasing to see. And we're getting some feedback on people who are attributing the fact that the Visco and the alloy seem to be a much easier product to be using.
What about, the farmer's interaction with me? There's always a question asked of me when it looks as though I'm going to put more than 2 products in the tank, is what about compatibility? Is that an area that we're looking at closely in terms of this alloy range?
Yes, Chris, it's not an aspect that we're making a huge amount of play on, because the alloy and Visco range will offer the same excellent compatibility that most of the SCs out there in the market will offer. I can't sit here and say that they will be, exceptionally improved. To be fair, SCs are very good. Mixing in the tank, as a rule, is one of their strongest points, and that's certainly, I suppose, what we were keen to do was, by developing the range to produce alloy, we didn't want to cause any deterioration in that positive point.
Right. So
for us, the fact that they're as good as, and they have been benchmarked against market leading products, as good tank mixability as what growers have come accustomed to, that's as far as we can claim, and we're happy to do so.
Okay, the other question that's always asked of me, right, I've got sort of 5 litres out the 10 litre pack. I've got to keep that in the store for another 12 months. Is the shelf life okay with this particular type of product? So that's another common question, I guess.
It is very much so, Chris, and I think we just mentioned tank mixability, which is probably the strongest point of SCs. Well, perhaps the weakest point of SCs traditionally, suspension concentrates, has been shelf life, and it is a concern for farmers. The industry as a whole, particularly for the heavier products such as the manganese 500s, is normally nervous about recommending more than 18 months shelf life, which is not very long, doesn't perhaps give a lot of comfort to the grower. You were involved last week with me. We stood on a farm in Yorkshire with a spray operator who, in front of the camera, opened a pack of manganese Visco that was 2.5 years old, so that's 30 months. And I think you'll agree that we had absolutely no problems with that sample.
No, I think that test
I was quite happy with.
Yeah, and I was quite impressed with that, Andy.
So if that turns out to be quite typical, I think 30 months as opposed to 18 is quite a considerable step forward, and will offer quite a lot more flexibility to the grower. You can maybe buy a little bit more, buy a full pallet instead of less. because he knows that he's not going to be, left with unusable product.
Okay, so let's just list the alloy range. Consists of almost a full range of micronutrients, the magnesium, copper, manganese, etc., etc.
Exactly.
From a marketing perspective then, if I as a grower or any grower would like to purchase any of that range, have you made have you pre-arranged any agreements with the distribution world out there?
Yes, we have, Chris. I'm proud to confirm that we are collaborating with Agravista.
All right, okay.
So that is the best place for a grower to inquire about availability of any of these products. They can do that either directly if they regularly are in contact with Agravista, then obviously that's the easiest way to do it. But anybody who's not, there is a link on our website to the Agravista site, or they can even send a comment to us, and we will arrange for somebody to get in contact with them.
Okay, so we've got the product. We've got the theory behind the product, we've seen it in practice, trials at STC, we've seen a 2.5-year-old product mix well in the tank, we know where to buy it, and the last thing is, where do growers, you've already mentioned the website,
yeah.
Is there any more sort of, most growers these days, contrary to popular belief, do have a computer, do know how to use it, so is there anywhere else?
We also have smartphones, Chris, and and I think that we're an innovative company, and I think that needs to spread a little bit further than what comes in the can. So
okay.
We're trying to make it as easy as possible to find out more information about our company and also get in contact with our company. So we've mentioned the website. We also have a YouTube channel, which the address for that is a bit longer, so I think probably anybody interested in that, and I would recommend that they visit it, can get the address off the website.
Okay. And
we also are on Twitter, which more and more people are doing it, Chris, and as I say, most people will have a smartphone these days, so that's at SaferGrow.
Yeah. And
when we will not bombard you with tweets, but when there are interesting videos, for instance that video of the 2.5-year-old Visco sample will be uploaded within the next couple of days, and we will announce something important like that via a tweet so that people can go and have a look either on the channel or on the website. So we like to get information out there that's interesting for the grower as quickly as possible in a very easily digestible format, lots of video clips like this, and also, as I say, through any of those formats people can contact us.
Okay, thank you very much, Andrew. I think that fills in just about all the information that I wanted to glean from SaferGrow. It's important to me as an agronomist that I'm aware of both the product, the way the product's put together, how it reacts with the crop, its availability, etc., etc. So I almost feel like an investigative reporter, but just getting underneath, getting in between the facts, if you like, and finding out more detail is important to me. So again, thank you very much, Andrew.
Thanks, Chris, for your time.